No. The forecast says it's about to rain any fucking second, and I mean, it looks like it is. Like, it is foreboding. It's foreboding as fuck. And I wanted to go to the park today. It said it was gonna rain at 3. It's 3:44. It hasn't rained yet, and then it's supposed to rain again at 8. So those 2 times might just merge together and prevent me from going to the park at all today, which is disappointing. But I did get some shopping done earlier. We went to like the beauty supply store and got conditioner for my wig, because I have 2 long wigs that I recently got, and the maintenance is fucking difficult on them, and so conditioner is helpful to keep that shit in check. And so this is for your regular ass, natural hair, but also for wigs. It's a detangler, and I'm hoping that this will be enough. We'll see. It's actually not conditioner. But anyway, I painted my nails, and y'all, like, anyone that's been on the channel for any amount of time, I don't paint my nails all that often, like ever, really. You could probably go back through my bitch. Hopefully the car's not too loud. That sounds loud. Is this song gonna start playing? It's called Easy Muffin by Amon Tobin. Either way, I really like the song, and I hope that the car isn't too loud, but the lights are not going to stay on, and it's kind of overcast enough that this video is kind of dark without having lights on. I don't paint my nails all that often, and it's because I don't really see the value in it outside of, I guess, putting together a look, and even then I don't give a shit really about the way my nails look. It's just not something that's like super on my radar as far as self-care, and then also for an aesthetic. I just don't do my nails. I don't go out and get my nails done. Growing up, it was kind of presented to me as a waste of money, a waste of time, a waste of energy, and only really reserved for occasions. And as we've discussed with I guess like the way that my mom sees social interaction, I don't know her mind, but the way that I interpreted social interactions from the way that she taught it to me is that they are vastly transactional. And so this is just a fucking thing that you put on the facade to get people to think you're normal. I am not used to looking at myself and thinking I am pretty, or I am attractive, or I am nice to look at, generally speaking. And I think that's why when I talk about like my attractiveness, it sounds a little forced, because it's not something that I'm used to doing. And I'm trying to kind of acclimate myself to perceiving myself first and foremost, because I'm really fucking bad at that. And then also acclimate myself to giving myself compliments, because compliments don't really do much for me. They don't really help or hurt, similar to criticism. And that includes with myself. So telling myself, I look nice, it doesn't fucking mean anything. But hopefully saying it enough will help me to believe it, at least. If not, make me feel good to actually believe it to be reality, because it is. But I had a friend recently paint their nails and tell me to do it, and I was like, you know what, let's see, I'm open to all new experiences, and this is one I've had before, but like, maybe if I see it in a different way, maybe if I approach it differently, it'll feel different to me. And I did, and it did. Every experience that I have, of course, I have a fucking epiphany about the littlest things that I encounter every day in my life, and this is one of those things. It almost made me feel like a little kid again, because I kept looking at them. I'm like, bitch, and like, not in the like, clicking my nails together shit, not like that, but like, just, I did this is something I did for myself, and of course I can't have it be fucking any semblance of normal, but it's an expression, And that's something that's important to kind of reflect upon and acknowledge. And so that got me thinking about, my upbringing, and why is it that I so vehemently cannot be full of myself. I have to always be modest, always be humble. And I think it's in the way that I was taught about skill versus talent, or things that you're inherently gifted at versus things that you have honed, skills, in your experience as a person. And I've always been taught that the things that you are born with, your talents and your facial features, your body, all that stuff, that is nothing to be proud of, and you should never, you really shouldn't acknowledge it all that much. Yeah, that's definitely something that is a running theme throughout my upbringing. The only things you should ever be proud of are the things that you worked at. And so you really shouldn't be proud or happy or feel good about being attractive, because that's not something that's all that valuable. That's not a skill that you honed. That's not a thing that you did that has really any value or weight to you as a person. And that's untrue. That's absolutely untrue. I think there is not just the aspect of, being attractive, having social currency. It's also a part of your self-esteem. And so as a kid, I was taught not to even acknowledge that aspect of myself as a point to derive self-esteem. And so my self-esteem is low as fuck. It's practically non-existent, because I'm not allowed to indulge. I'm not allowed to sit back and appreciate the things that I was born with, which is wild. That's fucking wild. So think about it. And on top of that, because I was talking to the same friend the other day, how difficult it is to accept and ask for help. And I'm a person that has a hard time asking for help. I have an even harder time accepting it. I think in turn, I've become a person that is constantly trying to help people, because I want others to always feel like they deserve help, that it is there for them, and that asking for it is not, it doesn't make you weak. You don't owe that person. You're not a burden. You shouldn't feel guilty about it, because everyone needs help. And so with my friends, I try to make it a point to always offer help. It might get annoying. It might be kind of annoying for me to do it every time someone is going through some shit, but I feel like it should always be offered, just because we are so thoroughly conditioned not to ask for help. And so I never want anyone to feel like they don't deserve it, because I never feel like I deserve it. In receiving help and giving it too, because I think there's this is all connected. So in any relationship, I feel as though I am worthless. I am valueless, and not invaluable, not priceless, but worthless. And by virtue of my worthlessness within any relationship that I cultivate, I am in this constant state of absorbing value from others, and not giving back. It's anti-worth, anti-value. And by virtue of my anti-value, I have to go above and beyond what is necessary, what is appropriate, when paying someone back for doing a kindness to me, for really any form of kindness, even just a smile and a nod. I feel like by virtue of my valuelessness, what I have to do in return is so much more. And that sucks. That sucks. It sucks to feel worthless. It sucks to feel valueless. And I think that is very much connected to my self-esteem and the inability to acknowledge, enjoy, accept, and love the parts of me that I was born with. Because I'm fairly confident in a lot of my skills, but those skills are born of my ability to do. And my ability to do is something I was born with. And so there's negative value in that. And so that means that I have to do even more, because my ability to do is a part of my innate makeup. And it's just an interesting thing to think about. I think a lot of people have issues with self-esteem, and not exactly like mine, but I think that my insight, my ability to kind of ascertain where it is that I am and how I got here could be helpful to others to, I don't know, help them to also take stock of where they are and how they got there, and perhaps look into how they can rectify some of the issues that they're suffering with. And things like self-esteem, building your own self-esteem, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I feel like affirmations are a big part of it. They're an important part of it, to tell yourself that you are worth it, that you matter, that you have value, and beyond the things that you can do for other people, you have inherent value. Because when you don't know that you don't feel like you have inherent value, it's like building a house with no foundation. And so the floor, the subfloor might exist, the floor covering will exist, but there's nothing underneath, and you can just fall through. And that's fucking scary. And the bigger the house, the harder the fall. And the longer you go on without kind of building this foundation of self-esteem, the harder the collapse is when it finally happens. And it is fucking destabilizing and horrible. It's not comfortable. And so, no matter where you are, I know it's like really fucking depressing to look and see like, this is the beginning, I have to start from where I am. No matter where I was before, I have to start from where I am. Even if I move back, even if there's some backpedaling, I have to start from square one, and square one is right here. That is scary. That sucks. And it gives me like just an existential crisis every time I think about it, that you have to start from the beginning. And the beginning isn't always the same place that you expect it to be. Isn't the same place that it was yesterday. And if only it had started yesterday. But you can't think of it that way. You have to think about it as now, because there's nothing you can do about yesterday. And that sucks. It sucks a whole fucking lot. And sometimes it can feel like you put it off. But things worth putting off are worth doing. This shit is stressful. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about, I guess, self-esteem and how my lack of it has shaped my experience and continues to shape my experience. Because it feels like what I'm building it's a facsimile of self-esteem. It's not as substantial as what I could have had as a kid, but it is a lot more informed. And there's some peace in that. There is some, I don't know, a fair amount of understanding. And I know where to build and when to do it, rather than someone doing it for me. I can do it myself. And there is a lot of comfort in that like, I could fuck it up myself, but I could also succeed. And in not doing it, that is the only way that you truly fail. So, fail to fail. Once again, we are back here. failing to fail. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Father's Day. Whatever you end up doing. You don't have to have a bio dad to enjoy Father's Day, to reflect upon your experience. You don't even need to have a father figure. Yeah, just use the day as you see fit. But reflect. Always keep reflecting until you see something you like in the mirror. Deuces.